I know you can't probably get into a lot of specifics about closed-door scrimmage and things of that nature, but just, you know, do you kind of have a feel for where you guys are? Do you like where you are at this point? I mean, how much have you learned about your club in the last couple of years?
Well, I still have the same focus that we had before the season. We've got to improve defensively. We have to have a defensive mindset. For the players we have, it's very easy for them to have an offensive mindset, meaning when you come into the game, you're thinking about scoring. A defensive mindset is you're thinking about how do we stop the opponent. Scoring is an individual thing, whereas defense is a team thing. So we need for our players to really make defense a priority, and if they do and they focus on that, the offense will take care of itself.
With that said, I mean, just Kamari Murphy, obviously, his defensive. I mean, how much does he impact defensively, and do you see other guys rallying?
Well, I think Kamari has a chance to have a tremendous impact because of his ability to defend all different positions. He's fast, he's quick laterally, he's got good length, he jumps very well, and he has a defensive mindset. So he's going to be a big help to us.
Is everybody healthy?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think we're okay. I don't think anybody right now is out for Wednesday.
How do you drill defense? I mean, do you always try to incorporate some offense in some drills too, or is there a lot of defense? Is there a lot of drills that are defensive?
Well, anytime you're working on your defense, you have players who have the ball on offense. So we work both ends of the ball all the time. It's not like we're working on one at the exclusion of the other. Both incorporated into the practice plan.
I know it's early and you don't really care that much about predictions, but how do you feel about the team actually was picked high in the ACC?
Yeah, I thought we'd be picked probably 7th because of the traditional teams in our league. You know, Duke and Carolina, you knew they were going to be picked very high. Virginia's won the last 2 regular season championships. You knew they would be picked high. Notre Dame, Syracuse, Louisville, I would have expected them to be picked maybe higher than they were. But as you know, it doesn't matter where you're picked in the preseason. It matters where you are during the season.
How will the offense look this year compared to last year?
Well, we're hoping and expecting and planning to be a little faster. We'd like to get out and run a little bit more. We'd like our defense to create opportunities. In fact, the expression, you know, our best offense is a great defense.
Do you think that being picked 5th, does it show that the program has gained some, you know, it's gained respect?
Oh, by the preseason poll? I think more of respect is our number of season tickets that we've sold, that the word has gotten around. We're down to 500 or 600 season tickets still available. So anybody that watches this that has an interest in seeing a team that I think CBSSports.com has us in the top 25 in the preseason. We've got a lot of great home games like Florida, like Duke, like Syracuse, like Virginia. We got a lot of top 20, top 10 type teams coming in. If you don't get your season tickets now, you may not be able to get a ticket the day of the game because all those tickets will be gone. So I want to make that very clear. If you don't get your tickets now, the only way you'll get them is if somebody's scalping a ticket outside the buck during the season.
How often were you told, Coach, when you were thinking about coming here in your first couple of years here that you'd never be able to sell tickets at this place?
Well, what I heard was there was an interest in basketball, which I knew not to be true. One of the things about fans is they like to follow winners. And so when the Miami Heat got LeBron in, did you think there was some interest in Miami season tickets? Because they knew what? They're going to win. They're going to be really, really good. When the Orlando Magic got to the finals. There was an awful lot of interest in the Orlando Magic. When Florida won national championships, they got an awful lot of interest, and then the season ticket sales went dramatically up. People are anticipating that we're going to have a very good team, and our fans, just like any other group of fans, really like to see the excitement of these home games when we're going to be battling top 20 teams throughout the season, and we're in the top 25. So should be some great games and very, very entertaining games. And you're going to see something new this year that I don't know if anybody is aware of, but we have purchased LED lighting. So we're going to be able to darken the arena and spotlight the players during introductions and do some things that have never been done before. So while the team is getting better, also the environment at the games will be more fan-friendly.
How much does that stuff matter to recruits?
It's huge. So if you talk to a recruit and you tell them we're sold out for every home game as compared to having 2,000 fans, it makes a big difference to them. And I know I've been at 3 different institutions where the average attendance when my staff and I first got there was around 2,000 fans per game. And I know when we left Bowling Green, every game we played in my last season was packed and to the rafters. When we left George Mason, all of the Saturday games for sure were sold out. Sometimes weekday games was a little bit harder, but we went from 2,000 fans to over 7,000. And now here, I don't know where we were to start with, but I'll say in the 2,000, 2,500 range to now, we expect 8,000 fans at just about every game.
You like the continuity of your top unit and maybe some of the things that...
Oh, I just like the roster. I like that we have... like Wednesday night, if everybody's healthy, we'll have 4 seniors and a junior in the starting lineup. Oh, that's nice. We got some experience. Then in that next unit, we'll have a couple of freshmen, a couple of sophomores, and a junior.
Jim, what have you seen in terms of the past couple of weeks as they've gotten more into the system, development-wise, from AMP and Buka?
I'll talk about Anthony Lawrence first. AMP has now started to play on instinct and not be mechanically frozen by his thoughts of what offense, what do I do with this offense? You know, the first part is learning the offense, and he's in the process of learning, and he's thinking too much. But now that he knows the offense, he's starting to just play a little bit more instinctively, and it's working really well. He's doing a really good job. The only problem he doesn't realize, we haven't put everything in, so today we're putting in a few more things. He'll end up starting to think again. Fortunately, these things are a little bit easier for him. They're not complicated at all.
Jim Corn was having a really nice season before everybody knew his name on Saturday in that return. How happy are you for him? And is what he's doing surprising you at all?
Yeah, I wish he were doing it for our basketball team. We could use some help at the point guard position, and he tried it for a day, but it's just too complicated to play both sports at this level, especially when you're not starting at the same point. One thing, if football season ended like it does in high school, like in November, then he would have time to learn the system and get his feet wet and get comfortable, and his teammates become comfortable with him. But he was coming after the fall break, after the first semester was over in mid-January, where we're no longer putting things in. We're no longer even reviewing them. We're trying to perfect them. And he had been so far behind, he wouldn't have been able to earn any playing time. But you can see what he's done in football and the impact he's had there.
What is Tony Ajikiri's role going to be this season, and how has he changed on and off the court?
Well, his role is going to be the same. It's going to be to anchor our defense and be our leading rebounder, and his offensive role will be expanded because he's scoring at such a high rate from the low post, something he didn't do in his first 3 years. But he's really getting better and better at that.
And how's he he changed off the court, do you think?
Well, first of all, physically, he's gotten bigger and stronger. But I also think from a maturity standpoint, he's done very well with his schoolwork. He's done very well in fitting in. You know, he's from Nigeria, and even though he went to high school at Champagnat High School in Hialeah, he was making the adjustment to college, such a different environment for him. And I think he's one of the most popular personalities on campus. He's very well liked by his teammates and the student body. So I think he's just matured in a very positive way.
With Angel, just his shooting percentage, what do you attribute some of that stuff to? You know, is it shot selection or just missing shots or injury? I mean,
No,
also how,
I've explained this multiple times. I never felt like, first of all, Angel's a great shooter, and I never felt like he wasn't shooting the ball well. I felt like he needed help. Right? He's a point guard first. He distributes the ball. But if the other guys don't take advantage of those opportunities and the ball ends up back in his hands with less time on the clock, he feels the responsibility, well, then I got to take a shot myself. So I think this year he'll find that the other guys are going to step up and play really, really well. It'll allow him to just stay within his role and not have to do too much. And I think when he doesn't have to do too much, he's terrific.
Have you charted that, like shooting percentage with X amount left on the shot clock, like under 5 or something?
No, because it's, even the way I described it is not exactly the way it happens. It's kind of something that a person feels. Like, okay, this guy passed up a shot, that guy passed up a shot in the first 10 or 15 seconds of the shot clock. Basically, now it falls on me to look for a shot. So hopefully that won't happen. We'll be shooting the ball hopefully a little quicker, and you know, Angel will be able to take advantage of his opportunities, but he'll be very, very confident that Sheldon, Davon, Tanya, Yvonne, all those guys will be more aggressive and more assertive in looking for their opportunities to score this year.
Do you think it's going to be a big adjustment going to 30? Or
I think there'll be an adjustment, yes. And I think coaches will make adjustments in trying to slow other people down.
are there things you could take out of the playbook, just thinking that they might not work with 5 fewer seconds?
There are 2 offenses we haven't put in primarily because of that. So will we put them in? We'll see how things go with the offenses we have put in. It's like if in football you're a really good running team and then all of a sudden people gang up on the run and it opens up your passing game. In basketball, we're going to run more. So we're going to be looking to score more in transition in what you would call secondary offense, something that flows right into your fast break offense, from your fast break offense. And if we find that other people are able to slow us down, we might have to add some things offensively to accommodate that.
Would you like to see quarters?
Yes, I would definitely like for the college game to be 4 10-minute quarters.
For the obvious reason, it just replicates the pro game more? Or
Well, not so much that, is I think it allows you to coach better. And here's what I mean by that. During a typical game with halves, there are 4 timeouts called by the media. I didn't call them. I didn't know when they were going to come, except they said after the first dead ball, after 16-minute mark. Okay, if you were playing quarters, you would know at the end of the first quarter, we're going to have a timeout when that clock winds down. There's more end-of-quarter situations where you might want to use your timeout at that time. They have reduced our timeouts. They took a timeout away from us. So I would much prefer to have those quarter timeouts then so I can plan a little bit better.
because those, every 4 minutes, I mean, more often than not, somebody's going to get a run stopped in every game just through happenstance, just because it's scheduled.
Any carryover from last year? You were able to play the NIT with the 30 clock. Was there any carryover from that?
I think we learned, I know the coaching staff did, that the 30-second clock is a factor if you're not a team that plays at a faster tempo. Oh, if you're someone that normally plays the shot clock, let's say you were normally shooting with 25 seconds left. Right? This time there'll only be 5 seconds left on the shot clock, not 10. Your players can start to feel very, very anxious with 5 seconds and might rush a shot. So I think it'll be a factor, especially early in the season until the players adjust.
You mentioned so much about offensive tempo. Is it because of the 30-second, or why do you think you'll be able to run more or play a little bit more up-tempo this year?
Well, part of it is our personnel, and hopefully we'll be better defensively. Running is oftentimes how good you are defensively because you got to get stops. It's harder to run after made field goals. There are only a few teams in the country that really do it very, very well, and that's North Carolina and Michigan State. Most teams do not run at that breakneck speed after a made field goal. So I think with the 30-second clock, coaches will be more aware and reminding their players to get the ball into the half-court area and be attacking much quicker.
So NBA basketball focuses obviously more on threes and drawing fouls. Would you like to see this sort of play in college more, and will this team be demonstrating that style at all?
Well, I think the college game has been focused on layups and threes and very little on the 15-foot mid-range game. Going to the basket this year is going to be a strong emphasis by everybody based on the emphasis in the rules to call touch fouls. So we're working very hard not to commit those fouls. We're going to try offensively to take advantage of the rule by getting to the foul line a lot. Threes are always a very, very big part of everybody's offensive game, unless you just don't have three-point shooters on your team. But we have a large number. We got 10 guys who are going to play, and I think only 2 of them are not three-point shooters.
And will most of the offense come out of designed plays called from the sideline, or will ball handlers kind of have the freedom to push the tempo?
Yeah, our guards always have the freedom to run the offense and call plays.